Hey, you guys, welcome to Petty Talks with Asia. So, I want to talk about Bad Boys, Dominican Republic. So, I did like this episode. It kind of felt like a filler episode almost. Not too much happened. So, I don't, if you watched last week, then it picked up right where it ended off. Jada and Noel, they were fighting because Noel was in the phone booth and Noel was like talking to their grandparent because their granddad had like a blood clot in their lung and they were gonna have to go to for surgery, but their granddad did not want to go. So Noel was just trying to talk to their grandparent, about the whole situation. Jada came in there and was like, "Bitch, fuck your granddaddy and fuck you too." And I was like, honestly, when Jada did explain why she was kind of like, I mean, why he was like, I don't even want you here anymore. I definitely did understand it. Jada was wrong, wrong, wrong. But when I tell you that shit was funny, I was like, whoop her ass again. Like when I tell you they fought like 10 rounds in the building and then they went outside and Jada gonna ask Noel, oh, so your granddaddy put a battery in your back? Bitch, when I tell you I died, like Jada is just a funny person, like just such a funny person. It makes no sense. Anyway, so they end up going outside. Jada won. Obviously, Jada won. Noel, was doing something, but Noel really can't fight like that, so you can't really hold it against him. But Noel acted like he won, and he was like, "Yeah, you can't never drop me. You can't never blah blah blah." And I'm like, I love the confidence, babes, but you got your ass beat, and that's okay. That's okay. So Cozy and Corey end up going to the hospital, and I'm like, why is my man Cozy in the hospital? But apparently, Cozy's elbow had got messed up when they were fighting Alpha Ant. So they had went to the hospital, but apparently, like Cozy couldn't understand what they were saying. So later in the episode, they're like, yeah, well, I couldn't understand nothing, so I just came back home. Anyway, so Shotty runs up on Jada and Jada won because they all okay, so Landon they no they were all in like the after Jada and Noel fought. Ooh, it's so many niggas. It's so many niggas. I gotta keep my head straight. So after Jada and Noel fought, they all went into the living room. And Jada is already amped up. And usually when Jada gets amped up and irritated, Jada is like, bitch, I'll fight anybody in this motherfucker. I'll fight anybody in this motherfucker. And I love that. Because there's some people they be like, and then if anybody want to get it, no, Jada is like, and you're gonna get it. And I like that. But Shoddy, like Jada is like, oh, my eye is fucked up because of you, Shoddy. And if you want to run that, we can. And guess what? Shoddy runs up on Jada, and Jada won, obviously. When I tell you Jada is a motherfucking beast that needs to be tamed, like, I don't understand why y'all keep playing with him. Y'all need to stop. But somehow, and I'll insert the picture, probably I probably won't, but Shotty's the middle of the shirt got ripped, and I was like, how did they rip the middle of your fucking shirt? It didn't make any sense to me. I was like, that is absolutely crazy how you fight somebody. I don't know if they like took the shirt and like turned it or something, I don't know, but Jada is a freaking menace. Anyway, so John and Blue, they ended up getting into it after Shotty and Jada fight. And I'm just like, Blue, baby, just please let the eye heal. When I tell you John is fine as a motherfucker, but I'm just like, Blue, let your eye heal. Like seriously, like Blue is going off at the mouth, and he's like, look, I got something for you. And it just was so hilarious because I'm like, John, I don't know where you grew up, but I grew up in Dallas and I live in Atlanta right now. And if somebody say I got something for you, I got something for you, bitch, you better think it's a gun and you better start running. Like Jada, I mean not Jada, Blue kept saying to John, "Oh, I got something for you. I got something for you." And John keeps saying like, "Oh, you got somebody for me. Like, oh, I stand on my own. I don't do that alliance stuff. I stand on my own. Like, I'll fight you by myself." And like Blue is just sitting there like, no, you not listening to what I'm saying. After all this is done, I have something for you. And yeah, John just didn't get it. And I'm like, if y'all are allowed to carry book bags and bags around that motherfucker, not clear bags, baby, you better watch out. You better keep your head on your swivel. The motherfucker, he got something for you, but he literally just did not get it. And I was like, oh, good lord. But anyway, so Landon calls a house meeting. Landon calls a house meeting, and Alpha is over the house meetings before they even start. Like he's saying it in his confessionals, and I'm like, absolutely. Like if you know anything about the baddies, house meetings, there it's gonna be a shit show. It's gonna be a shit show. People gonna be fighting. Nothing is gonna be talked about really. So I was like, Alpha, and I'm definitely with you there. So they basically, Landon is like, hey, so these are the people who had the most votes, and these are the people who should leave. And it was Noel, and it was also Shaq. So Noel got the most votes, but honestly, I just feel like it's too early for these people to be leaving. Like, um, we don't even know who y'all are. We don't know what y'all about. Y'all haven't had a chance to meet the people, like know the people or anything. And I get it. It's Bad Boys. Y'all trying to come in with a bang so people can watch this stuff because Bad Boys is kind of flatlining. I like the show, but as far as like viewership, it's not as high as Baddies and the other stuff. So I get it. They want to come in with a bang. But I also just feel like y'all can do other stuff. Like when they went to the strip club and they was rubbing on them women, bitch, I wish it was me. I wish it was me. Not me and that rubbing on the women. I wish it was rubbing on me, baby. Especially that John. That John. But honestly, I'm just like, yeah, like I just need to see our personality a little bit. It's too early for y'all to leave, especially somebody like Noel. Noel gonna get the party started. You know what I mean? Win, lose, or draw. You gonna get the party started, and you need people like that. And like they're trying to produce, and they're also trying to be a cast member. No, you don't need to do that. You just need to be a cast member, baby. You fight these niggas, get personality, and then do that. But anyways, so Landon and Noel they fight because Noel was saying to somebody, honestly, I don't even remember who it was, but Noel was saying to somebody like, "No, I don't want to fight you." It might have been Shoddy, but Noel was like, "Oh, who voted for me?" And Landon was like, "Well, I voted for you, so we can fight." When I tell you Noel was motherfucking running, Noel was running, and then I think that it clicked in Noel's head one good time because Noel popped Landon in his fucking face with his fist. And then Noel was like, "Oh, I'm a tall ass fucking nigga, and I got these long ass fucking arms, and you shorter than me. You're not short, but you shorter than me, and I can just reach and get your ass in your face." And when I tell you that that's what Noel kept doing, Noel was bagging up, popping them in their face. I'm not gonna say that there was a win or a lose or a draw or whatever, but I will say that Noel definitely held their own, and I do feel like Landon and Pootie is some whack ass bitches because it was just kind of seeming like they were trying to kind of punk Noel. Like, oh, you finna get out this house and we're gonna show you why. Because you can't fight. Girl, it don't matter if they can fight or not. Can they stand on their own? Can they hold their own? And Noel absolutely can. Noel's dealing with a whole family issue and they are fighting bitches back to back. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like when people can't come in the house and stand on their own. They try and punk people. But anyway, so like Landon and Noel, they go a couple rounds, and then Pootie kind of like tag himself in, and he's like, "Oh well, I voted you out too, so let's go." Girl, what? When I tell you, send one of them bitches home. I'm voting Pootie because I don't like Pootie. I like Noel. I mean, I like Landon more than Pootie, but send one of them home immediately, immediately. So, Noel does the same thing with Pootie. Like they don't. Pootie and Landon don't necessarily lose. Noel doesn't win. I won't say that Noel loses either. Like they were just both throwing, but I just think that they didn't realize that, yeah, Noel's gonna be punching y'all in y'all fucking face. And we see like Pootie and Landon having to, get because they got scratches and they lips is busted and stuff. You know what I mean? So and I was just asking myself, like, this whole time, are the guys just gonna be fighting? Is that just is what it's gonna be? Um, so then after that, Lynx, they're talking about a check, and they're like, check, you're also the one who's supposed to leave. And then Lynx kind of stands up and is like, well, my problem with you is that you didn't get up and you didn't fight me when I told you I wanted to fight you. I feel two ways about this. My first way of thinking is if somebody calls you out on one of these kinds of shows, bitch, even if you don't want to fight, you might as well just get up and fight because you're gonna be called like you duck and wreck or whatever they dolly duck and wrecking this bitch. Like you gonna be said that they're gonna say that you're doing that kind of stuff. So it's like get up and just fight. And I hate to say that because I would never want to put somebody in a position where it's just like, oh my gosh, I have to fight. Like this is something. But honestly, girl, on this show, you knew what you was signing up for. You don't want to be look like a lame ass bitch. Just get up and fight. Shaq, just get up and fight. Honestly, I do feel like Shaq should leave because so Lynx after okay, I hold on. Let me just hold on. So Lynx falls to the ground the first time, and then he gets up and he like whoops Shaq ass. I don't know if Shaq necessarily made him fall because security is always in the way. He really could have just fell on some equipment or like a security guard. So I doubt that Shaq really hit him so hard he made him fucking fall. I think it was really like he just tripped. And that just keeps happening because it's so many people around. The floors are sweat and slippery and stuff like that. So but the cast is still saying that Shaq needs to leave. So like after this fight, because they fought like three times. The first time, Shaq definitely held his own. The second time, Shaq, Lynx definitely got him, but Shaq was, doing his stuff. And then that third time, Lynx was like, "I'm finna whoop this bitch." Cause it ain't finna be said that you whoop my ass. And then Shaq hit him in his eye one good time. And then Shaq kind of just like laid, sat on the ground and like kind of held his eye. I mean, sat on the couch and held his eye, which I definitely understand. Cause if somebody hits you in your eye really fucking hard, it's gonna hurt, and you're gonna be like, "I'm done. I'm done." So I definitely get it, but also it's like when somebody Shaq is kind of making himself the victim in a way, and that's such like an awful thing to say, and I understand that, but if Shaq is not willing to hold his own from beginning to end, like the rest of these niggas that's getting into the paint with niggas two and five times one nigga, and then 10 times the next nigga, and then 15, 20 times the dude after that, three dudes in a row, no stop. One they fight one guy, the next guy was like, I also got an issue with you, and they just keep fighting. If Shaq can't do that, then Shaq needs to leave because obviously you're not up to the criteria of the show. And when somebody does have an issue with you, or somebody's like, you're not fighting, you're not holding your own, then I don't think that you're being bullied. I just think that you aren't on the level as these other dudes. I do think that if Lynx keeps pressing him, then yeah, you are being a bully, Lynx. But I also think that yeah, maybe Shaq needs to go because you just aren't on that level. It is what it is, or whatever. So Shaq he goes outside. And I was just thinking like bad boys should not be all fighting. Like it really should just be like people trying to get to know each other because Shaq does seem to be a cool ass person. And I just feel like as far as like just being a cool person, I can understand him being there because he seems like he can get along with people. He seemed like he, always got the meth, the PCP, the weed, for them to smoke and stuff. So like I get it. But I also think in addition to be you being cool, just like John, you got to be able to like stand on your own and fight and stuff. And I don't think that he can. But anyways, Shaq is outside and like John and somebody else they come and they check on him and he's like kind of holding his eye. And he's like holding his eye or whatever. And Shaq is like, I mean not Shaq, but John is like checking up on him. When I tell you John is so fine, like it was just the way that he was like checking up on him and like trying to help him out and like giving him pointers and just being like if you fighting this nigga multiple times you need to learn something, you need to learn how to. He was just telling him like you got to move faster, you got to like he wasn't beating up on him, he wasn't like you need to leave or anything, he was genuinely checking up on him and just what I mean, like I just like that he was being a brother. I'm just like John just seems like such an asshole, but I feel like it's such a persona, you know what I mean. Anyways, that's my man, that's my man, I'm gonna stick beside him, I'm gonna have to. But so they get back into the little house meeting, and Blue and John they start going at it, and then Blue gets up, and he ain't had whatever he had for him that time. He was just gonna fight him. When I tell you that John pushed Blue from the center of the motherfucking living room all the way to the back and over the couch, like, and you can tell by the way that John is built that he like his arm, and then when he get his legs moving, that motherfucker he can move a mountain, baby. But I don't think that Blue was ready for that. Blue was so surprised he wasn't even swinging on him. Like he literally could have been hitting John in the head. But honestly, I don't think that neither one of them is like good fighters. I just think that they can like take up for themselves and they can like carry they whatever. But oh, that was so sexy. I was like, ooh, John, good lord. But they John gets Blue on the ground and he starts hitting him or whatever, and I'm just like, okay. And then I'm just like, John is strong as fuck. But Lynx, after that situation, Lynx daps up Shaq, and I'm like, Lynx is insane. Like Lynx is an actual insane person. I think that it would take somebody on the mental capacity of an Orlando Brown, like an actual insane person, because Orlando Brown be acting, but like somebody that is Orlando Brown, but like really Orlando Brown, and also can fight to whoop Lynx ass, and then Lynx gonna be like, okay. But he might be just an insane person, and I wouldn't want to fight him either, Shaq. But so next we get to the scene, like, cause they like disperse or whatever after that. Landon and Pootie are talking in their room, and they're honestly, I don't even care what they were talking about. They were just basically saying like, Noel, we're not gonna jump you, we're not gonna jump nobody in there, but if you fight one of us, you gotta expect that we're not gonna be cool with you. No, we don't have to expect that, because y'all said that y'all were dating, y'all weren't dating, y'all are friends, y'all not really together, whatever. So I don't even know what the fuck. Why, like, if I'm fighting one of y'all, I'm not expecting to fight the other. Like, if I'm fighting one of y'all, do I need to tell security to hold this bitch back because this bitch might try and put their hands on me? And we're gonna see that next episode. Like, I just don't like that. Stop hiring boyfriends, stop hiring girlfriends, stop hiring people that came in together. I don't like that shit. It's whack as fuck. If they gonna be on that, then one of them needs to leave. I vote Pootie. Landon can stay. I like to look at Landon. You know what I mean? Anyways, Noel walks in and they're talking about the whole Island Boy and Noel situation. They're trying to figure out what it is. Noel is basically just like, well, when Island Boy comes in, he gonna have to run me a fade. So that's what it is. And I'm like, okay. Then they go to, there's like another scene. They go to the pool. Honestly, everything is all, pretty cool and everything. Landon, John, and Cozy came back, and somebody else. They're in the house, and everybody else is outside. Ooh, excuse me. So Landon is talking to Shaq and basically is saying like, I'm so glad that you held your own because you proved that you deserve to be here or whatever. And then he's saying like, the issue with Lynx is done. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I just wanted to kind of get to it, but the issue with Shaq and Lynx needs to be done. Lynx, if you keep on fighting him, then you are being a bully, because this nigga, he said something, he made a small comment, a small little joke about, well, my dreads are real, and that was enough for you to fight this man for over 2 days, at least 10 times. Girl, let it be done. And one thing that I hate, and we also saw that with Bad Girls Go Wild, Bad versus Wild or whatever, when that one girl, she was saying like, and you gonna say I'm a bully. If you think that you being a fucking bully, you are being a bully. Stop it. Stop it. You look insane. It was very weird and whack to me, because if you think that you're being a bully, Lynx, and I forget the other girl name, then you are being a bully. If you know that you find somebody that's not strong as you, and Shaq don't be saying nothing to nobody, he made that one comment and never said nothing else to nobody, and you still fighting him, like, you are being a bully, babes. Anyway, but so Cozy is already in the house, and he's just like, look, my elbow is messed up, but I'll just deal with it or whatever. Corey comes back and he got a damn cast on, and I'm like, send his ass home, no injury reserve. Natalie said that. Why is he here? Send him home. As soon as they said he got to work cast for 21 days, he should have been sent home. Lynx is funny because he was saying like, I don't want to fight a nigga with a skirt on, and you know what? I kind of understand what he's saying, but also, Lynx, your crazy ass, you fighting Shaq all the time. You can fight a nigga with a skirt on. So Shotty, they're back at the pool. Shotty calls out Jada for fighting him again. Jada is basically saying, well, I was cool with you after we fought, but then I woke up and I saw that you fucked up my eye, and I want to fight you again. And I kind of understand with Jada, like, I don't know you, bitch, and if I say that I'm cool in that moment, but when I wake up and I got scars all over my body and my eye is messed up as Jada's is, of course I'm gonna want to fight you again. But also, Shotty, like, Jada didn't even try. Didn't even say nothing to you. Like, Jada was cool in that moment. You decided to run up on Jada like you did that first time as well. So it's like you keep running up on Jada, but then you want to say that Jada is bullying you, or like trying to keep coming after you. Because Jada is saying like, I have an issue with you and we gonna have to get it. But you could always say no. You know what I mean? I don't know. Shiny always just fades into the background. I didn't even realize their name until this episode. So, because I knew their face, but I didn't even realize their name. But anyway, so Shotty runs up on Jada at the pool. Jada gets up. When I tell you Jada is fast than a motherfucker, that is a problem, okay? But so Jada gets up, then Jada literally throws Shotty onto the pool and starts whooping his ass. And I'm like, Shotty, you know what? Just leave it alone, baby. Just leave it alone. Like, just leave it alone. Anyways, so Paris is funny as fuck. Paris is in a confessionals. Like we don't really see Paris, outside because unless you fight, they're not gonna like give you no camera time. But in the confessionals, I don't like confessional gangsters, but I do like Paris. Paris is funny. Like I wish that Paris would be the like house whatever Natalie is to the girls because that's what Paris needs to be. Anyway, so Island Boy he arrives and he has good energy. Like he's dapping everybody up. Um Lynx and Island Boy apparently know each other. I don't know if anybody out, like on social media or anything like that, so I genuinely did not know that they knew each other. Um, so Island Boy says that um Jada apparently said that he will get Pootie and Landon to fight each other and to break up, and everybody will get the belt, and no one fits being a bad boy. I have to remember what I said, but I was just kind of like, um Island Boy runs up on Jada and security kind of stops it because they kind of like get in the way or whatever. So then they eventually allow them to start fighting. Jada is they keeping up with each other. That's what I will say. I don't think anybody like won or lost that or whatever. But Jada ends up like falling and sliding on the ground. I don't think that Island Boy did it, but I just when somebody falls on the ground, it's just like, oh, I did that, but it's like, did you really though? Like it's fucking 17 people in between y'all fighting. It's possible that they just slipped, just like with earlier. And then so once Jada gets up and they fight that second time, Jada whoops Island Boy's ass. And Island Boy, his leg is messed up. I think that that might have been something that happened because when you moving like that, you twist and turn or whatever. His hamstring messed up. He got that lick on his back. He probably hasn't been getting enough water and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably what it was. Um, like when I tell you Jada be fucking these niggas up bad, like Jada seriously be fucking these niggas up. Like, oh my god, oh my god. Like every single person that Jada has fought is gonna probably be on injury reserve. So, anyways, Jada is funny. Like he's annoyed and irritated. He's ready to fight Island Boy again. He's like, okay, where this nigga at? And Corey is popping off at the mouth, and they're like, oh, well, who can Island Boy replace? And they're like, oh, I don't think that he needs to replace anybody because he is a main cast member. And Jada's like, oh, well, Corey, he can replace you. He can replace you. And then Jada literally runs up on Corey, and they don't let well, Corey runs around so he doesn't Jada doesn't get Corey because Jada's hand is messed up. But then Corey, once he like runs around the couch and avoids getting hit by Jada, he does a fucking cartwheel and with a broken hand slash finger. And only thing going through my mind is, oop, only thing that's going through my mind is he needs to take that cast off or he needs to leave. This motherfucker needs to fight or he needs to leave. I'm so serious. I'm not like pro all the fighting that they're doing, but I also think that, girl, if you're not gonna be able to do nothing, if you're gonna be running around people, then you need to get your ass on. But anyways, so Ant is sick of this. Like the boys, they aren't showing any personality. They really are just fighting. That's what he's saying. He's just like it's just a lot. And then Ant is kind of giving me Prince from last season, where Prince was just like, I knew that it was gonna be like something. I knew it was gonna be fighting and all this other kind of stuff. But it's just like once that fucking liquor hits your back, you in fight or flight mode all the fucking time. Like, oh my God, the cardiovascular issues that these people will have in the next 5 years, my God. But anyway, so John told Corey, but she was so funny. John told Corey, you need to stand with your back against that window, which he really do. Like, you need to stand with your back against that window. You need to be looking left, looking right, looking left, looking right for who's going to try and fucking fight you because you keep popping yourself at the mouth. Honestly, Corey is giving me Summer, but I don't think, like, that's who Corey really is. That's what I do appreciate. I do like Corey being on the show, but I'm just like, with his hand being messed up, it's like you can't fight or anything, but you keep popping your mouth. You know what I mean? Um, but when I say like John is in charge of the boys, John is in charge of the boys. I'll say that. So Island Boy, his hamstring is effed up. He is outside. Paris goes outside to talk to Island Boy. He was trying to talk to Jada in there earlier, and they kind of got into it a little bit. And then he got into an Island Boy, but they're all good friends, so it wasn't like they were gonna fight or anything. It was really just like they were both pissed off, and they just kind of took it out on him. I don't know. But that was really the episode. It was a good episode. But when I tell you that next week episode is gonna be a motherfucking key, fights, fights, fights down, and it looks like they actually go somewhere this time. This episode, it really was just like day two. Wake up, eat a motherfucking fish sandwich, okay? Eat a knuckle sandwich for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and make sure that you take your daily dose of liquor because you look, they need them to have that lick in their system to act the fucking fool. But I did like this episode. You know, it was funny. It gave me what I needed. I wish it would have been longer, and I wish that they had actually did something. Like that's something I want Zeus to start implementing. Like, yeah, we can have a filler episode, but I want them to start going out and actually doing something, having fun. You know. And one thing that I will say that one thing I will say, last episode I was saying it was fun because they actually did stuff. This episode, people are gonna be in the last episode, people were saying that it was not fun because it was boring and all this other type of stuff. This episode, people are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, it was so fun, it was so amazing, it was so great, I loved it so much, I love it, love it, love it, love it." And I'm like, they fought, they fucking fought. You know what I mean? Anyways, let me know what y'all think about this episode in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, do all those things, and have a good day. Okay, bye.